on this all-at-sea episode of MythBusters. Batten down the hatches, because there's Deadliest Catch Chaos.
Whoa, heads up!
As Captains Jonathan and Scott...
We're going to Alcatraz! They're set us up!
team up to tackle some hijinks from the high seas.
Fingers out of the way.
First, Adam and Jamie get knotted.
Killer loop de los muertos. Whoa!
As they reveal if an unraveling rope
There he goes.
is a one-way ticket to the deep blue sea.
Ho, ho, ho!
Son of a just tough.
Roadway!
Then Carrie and Tori stay awake for science.
I don't like this game anymore.
Can a pattern of power naps really let you function twice as well as no sleep at all?
1, 2, 3.
Oh, we broke the bar!
Finally, the team ends with a bang
I like to call this the crab's revenge.
in the Twitter tall tale of the bomb-proof crab pot.
In 3, 2, 1!
Who are the MythBusters? Adam Savage and Jamie Heineman.
Quack, damn you.
Between them, more than 30 years of special effects experience. Together with Carrie Byron,
Come to Mama.
Tori Belleci,
Why are we doing this?
and Grant Imahara. They don't just tell the myths, they put them to the test. It's no myth that crab fishing in the Bering Sea is the world's most dangerous business.
I hope I don't regret my decision.
But it's also a business that spawned many a tall ship, tall tale.
Yeah, baby! Yeah, baby!
And to seek the truth, two of their Captain Fantastics have set sail to MythBusters Central.
Okay, San Francisco, here we come.
So I hear you guys have some fisherman fables for us.
Indeed, we do.
All right, what do you got?
Well, first up, we have what's called the killer loop.
Oh, I think I know this one. The crab pot's going off the side of the boat, and the rope that holds onto it is paying out, and if you step in that loop, you get dragged all the way down.
Exactly, but the last part's what's crucial.
We know that stepping in the line can cause severe injury.
Right, but if you get caught in that loop, will it drag you all the way to the bottom?
Ouch.
Yeah.
They don't call it Deadliest Catch for nothing. But is it true that stepping into an uncoiling cable can really see you dragged all the way to the seabed? Or is this a myth that's on the ropes?
Remember this guy? Little mini buster? Last time you saw him, he was seated in the back seat of a polycarbonate car being smashed into by a log. 3, 2, 1, blam! Now, we're about to see if he can get dragged over the side of a scale boat by a scale rope. But first, I need to build a scale boat.
Yep. Plan A is to set sail with small scale, where Adam's crafting a craft with love.
All right, if we're gonna be honest with each other, it's pretty clear that all I needed was a board with a railing. But I decided to indulge the old model maker in me. I don't have to do this. I'm doing it because I enjoy it. I cut out some spars that define the shape of the hull. It's looking good. The deck, I wood planked it, even though I don't even know if fishing boats have wood plank decks.
I don't have the heart to tell him, but crab boats are made out of steel.
I wanted to tell the whole story of the myth in the small scale experiment, so that's what I went and did. I think it's ready. The crabs go in the crab hold.
With looks to die for,
Yeah, I've gone a little overboard.
Show off.
it's time for the killer coil conundrum to cast off.
So can you be dragged off the deck of a boat if you unwittingly step in an uncoiling loop of rope? That's what this miniature rig hopes to find out. I've got my miniature sailor, my miniature boat, my miniature coil of rope, which I will unwind. How? By releasing this weight. This weight will go down, which will, through the pulley system, pull on that rope. These are filled with lead, so they have some momentum behind them, so that when they yank on the foot of my guy, they actually pull him up over the deck of the boat. Theoretically, of course.
So that's the theory. Here's the practice. Adam winds a regular coil of cord, and Buster assumes the position.
Nice.
But will he be dragged up and over?
All right, here we go. Killer loop de los muertos. Coiled like a spring. 3, 2, 1. Whoa! It did not grab him.
No, it didn't.
Contrary to the myth, Buster's not even caught in the coil, let alone dragged to the bottom of the sea. So the guys reset for test 2.
Killer loop of death? Oh, isn't that sort of redundant? 3, 2, 1. Nice move, Buster, but it's not going to help you.
This time, the rope did catch Buster, but again, he stayed on deck. Will test 3 give them the man overboard that this myth needs?
3, 2, 1. Oh! Oh, oh, oh! Wait, what's going on? Come on, look. Oh!
That held on to him quite nicely.
Totally did.
So that time the rope did coil around Buster's leg, and it formed a strong enough knot to pull him up and over the side. But with this spring coil, it's not happening every time by any means. However, there are other ways to coil a rope, the most common being the over-under technique like this. And so that's what we're going to try next.
This over-under technique is used on some fishing fleets, but will it make a difference?
All right, over under coil. 3, 2, 1. Oh!
Oh, little Buster. Ow!
Nice.
Right under the water.
Talk about a deadliest catch.
Look at that.
No way.
That's a clove hitch. That's a right and proper clove hitch.
There's no doubt that with this new coil, Buster's got well and truly hitched. And for the first time, he's dragged all the way down without a helping hand. And once more, the 4 following tests follow suit.
Oh.
Up and over.
Right in the nuts.
Which means it's time for some expert opinion.
So based on the small scale, it looks like the rope might just pull you all the way to the seabed.
Yeah, those knots looked really tight, especially that clove hitch.
Well, so now if we're gonna go to full scale for added realism, do you think one of you guys could curse like a sailor for me?
Absolutely.
Perfect.
Next up, a crustacean catnap.
All right, Jonathan, what kind of myth do you have for us today?
One of my favorites. You're not going to like this much. It's about sleep deprivation.
Sleep deprivation.
Yeah, the myth is, are you better off staying up a full 30 hours? Or are you better off every 6 hours take a 15 or 20-minute nap? You'll be way more alert and double your performance.
So you're saying if you take a nap every 6 hours for 20 minutes, you'll do twice as good as if you didn't sleep at all?
That's what I'm saying.
So I guess we can call that a crab pot power nap?
In the crazy world of crabbing, it's normal practice to hit the deck for a 30-hour shift.
Oh God, this is crazy.
But can a medley of micro-sleeps really let you do your duties on the double?
Got a leak in the engine room.
All right, so how about we build a Deadliest Catch-inspired assault course? It'll test our reaction time, our coordination, and our mental acuity.
Aha, that'd be awesome.
We'll stay up for over 30 hours, run the course, see how we do, and then we'll stay up for another 30 hours, run the course again, but this time we'll take 20-minute naps every 6 hours and see if that doubles our performance.
So it would be better if you did this obstacle course on a real boat because there is no escape.
This is gonna be the worst myth ever.
So it's anchors away as the team clears the decks to the docks.
This is the Mako, an 83-foot-long fishing trawler docked here in the San Francisco Bay at the California Maritime Academy. Come with me and I'll give you a tour.
This is the bridge, or as they call it, the wheelhouse. This is where the captains make their way through the icy waves of the Bering Sea and smoke a lot of cigarettes and curse a lot.
Get back to work.
And this is the galley. I mean, look at it. It's just like the TV show. This is where the fishermen hang out, cook their meals, and smoke cigarettes and curse a lot.
Come on.
Now, this is where the fishermen will haul up the crabs and drop them into these holy takes as they're smoking cigarettes and cursing.
Keep it down. Trying to sleep.
Jeez, crabby.
There's no doubt that the boat's the business. And once the guys get on board with their pre-prepared props,
Gonna make a lot of money off of this haul.
they set up their sleep deprivation experiment that will test coordination, agility, and mental mettle.
go into the hole, turn left at the rock, and you got a knot. Ah.
And here's how the assault course is going to go down.
Who's the man now, crab pot?
First up, hook 'em and cook 'em. Now, an important job for a crab fisherman is to be able to haul the pots back up on the boat. The way they do that is they take a buoy, attach it to a rope, and attach it to the pot. Then they take a grappling hook, hook the rope, and haul it onto the boat. Now, normally the boat is moving when you hook the buoy. Since we're staying still, the buoy has to move. How are we gonna make the buoy move? This tiny little tugboat. Beep, beep.
Next is stop 2 at Size Matters. Now we're going to get a crab pot full of 30 crab. We're gonna have to size them and sort them as quickly as possible. Anything under 7 inches, gotta throw it back.
This is station number 3, the king of swing. Now, one of the biggest dangers on board a boat is getting hit by an 800-pound crab pot. I made these out of PVC pipe, so they're significantly lighter than the real thing because tow and carry are going to get hit by them, and it's their job to avoid them. But wait, there's more. And this is station number 4, the Bering Sea. Up here on the bridge, tow and carry will be given a course heading and have to find it. Now, it sounds like a simple enough task, but when you're tired, even the simplest things become very, very difficult.
So we're gonna wrap it up here with stop 5 out on the bow. Now this is the steady hand test. So you move this crab along the buzzer. If you hit the side, it buzzes. I guarantee you this is gonna get more annoying as I get more tired and a lot harder to do.
So there's 5 different skill set tests and 2 different rest routines. Carrie and Tori can earn 20 points per task, but they'll lose points if their total task time takes longer than 7 minutes. But before the slumber games begin,
Let's do this.
the guys first want to set a wide-awake benchmark, where both phony fishermen
Ho-ho! Good shot!
start with a perfect pitch.
Good job!
Size Matters is easily sorted,
Man, they're all small this season.
and King of Swing is no obstacle.
Okay, go, 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 go! Good work!
While navigation is predictably painful,
All right, Tori, you hear that the crabbing is good in Drake's Bay. What 2 major directions are you going to travel?
That's where we're at now, right?
I'm going southwest.
Southwest and northwest.
both
Correct.
sail through. And with no shark in Shockwave,
Bet you've never seen a captain do this.
the scores are in.
And time. All right, 5 minutes and 50 seconds.
The crab dance.
Well, that's a crab dance. I love it.
This is sideways.
All right, how did she do?
Carrie, you got a perfect score.
Nice work, Carrie.
So when wide awake, our curious crabbers pass this test hook, line, and sinker. But will they be so sure-footed after a sleepless night at sea?
It's getting late. I'm not sure how I'm gonna stay up. There's no internet, and there's a TV from, I think, 1970. But I do know how Tori's gonna stay up. I found this on the bridge.
Adam and Jamie have a myth that's wanted, dead or alive. Can stepping into an uncoiling cord really drag you not just overboard, but 20,000 leagues under the sea?
Adam's small-scale test worked like a charm. With the regular coil, Buster was caught about 50% of the time.
That's not going to protect you.
With the over-under coil, he was dragged down on every single test.
Ow, little Buster. Ouch.
But I'm worried that a tiny bit of twine like this isn't going to behave the same as a meaty piece of rope like this. So I want to do one more test before going full scale.
In other words, it's anchors away on a mid-scale mishap.
That works. Believe it or not, that sandbag up there near the roof is a crab pot. Now it's tied onto this rope, which comes to the deck of our boat, on which our hapless fisherman is standing. Now his foot happens to be in a coil of that rope, and when he launches the crab pot, he may be going for a swim.
To kickstart this test, the guys are going with the regular coiled spring type of coil.
All right, deadly coil of rope with boot. 3, 2, 1.
It loops right around it.
Amazing. Scary.
Scary is right, as their boot gets knotted right from the get-go.
Look, like you, Jamie and I have both been concerned that the thicker rope was going to behave substantively differently than the string I used in my miniature scale rig. But take a look at this. I think you'll find it interesting. Split screen on the left is the regular coil with my miniature rig. On the right, the experiment that we've just done. Now watch how the rope and the string wrap around the ankle in a half hitch. It's almost identical. Now we're gonna do for due diligence an over-under coil and try that as well, but I'm feeling pretty confident that this phenomenon is real and that it actually works. All right, here we go. Loop of death, over-under coil. 3, 2, 1, go.
Whoa! This time, their boot belts off the table. And with a success rate of 2 for 2, it's time for these cowboys to find a steel horse to ride.
Whoa! So the myth is that stepping into a coil of rope on a boat is a one-way ticket to the bottom of the ocean. And based on this really simple setup right here, it's looking pretty good. No matter how we coiled the rope, it was able to tie a knot-ish around our boot and yank it off the table. Now, whether it gets you to the bottom of the ocean, that's still something we have to investigate. But right now, it's looking pretty good for this myth.
Rest in the Northwest is an understandably rare event. But is it true that a power nap can make you twice as able a seaman as no sleep at all? To find out, Carrie and Tori must first stay awake for a 30-hour shift. Luckily, Tori's got plans.
Now, we could sit here and watch VHS tapes on this black and white TV to try to stay awake, or we could use this, a complete entertainment center. I got checkers, I got cards. All right, you got a queen? I got all kinds of games, whatever you want. Carrie's over here making a collage. I don't know, whatever it takes for her to stay awake. I'm not judging. The whole point here is to stay awake for 30 hours.
Indeed, but as the clock ticks towards midnight, they're barely halfway through.
I'm getting so tired.
To say it's a long night,
We should probably huddle to stay warm.
I'm not that cold. It's a pretty good jacket.
would be an understatement.
Quick, get the nets, I got one.
But eventually, dark gives way to day. But it ain't over yet.
Wake up! Reveille! Wake up, maggots! What are we playing games for? Let's go! Let's move! We are going to do 50 side straddle hops. I'll count the cadence. Yes, JD.
Make it 100.
Make it 100. That's a beautiful number. Ready? Begin!
Deputy Wilson and his familiar friend
Wake up!
are specialists in keeping tired troops attentive.
JD, what have we missed?
I think you missed push-ups.
And under their expert encouragement,
Are we hallucinating?
Down!
the guys go beyond the 30-hour limit.
That's 1.5.
What's going on?
Carrie and Tori have now been up for 32 hours. It's time to run our test again, exact same parameters.
Jeez, it's bright out here.
Slightly different navigational questions.
All right, let's do this.
We're gonna see how they do. All right, Carrie Byron, this is your 32-hour test with no sleep. You ready?
How you feeling?
Get
it, Tiger.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. In 3, 2, 1, go!
With the timer started, Carrie slings her hook,
Miss.
Not even close.
but finds her coordination has jumped ship.
Miss! And miss. 0 points.
Size matters resonates well,
Okay, go, 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 go!
but the ducking, not so much.
Yeah, she died. She died about 3 times.
In navigation, Carrie leads the way.
What 2 directions are you traveling if you start at Angel Island and travel to Point Reyes?
Even if she is a little vague.
So you are going to go that way and that way.
No.
Lastly, there's Shockwave,
1, 2.
where it's fair to say Carrie has a shocker.
All right, 8 touches. Move on.
Come on, Carrie. Time. All right, your time was 7 minutes, 50 seconds. Nice work.
Your score, however, was fairly dismal. The first time you did this, you got a perfect score. This time around, you got a 27.
Oh.
Wow, 32 hours really affected you.
Yeah.
With no sleep at all, Carrie scored well in the mental challenges, but poorly in the physical ones. Add with a significant drop-off in pace, her total tumbled. What will Tori's story be?
All right, 32 hours. I'm ready.
All right, let's do it. Here we go in 3, 2, 1, go.
Like Carrie before him, Tori's first throw is a foul.
Missed it.
You can do it.
But take two takes the target.
He got it. He got it. So when a person is exposed to extreme sleep deprivation, sort those crabs.
I'm watching you.
Sort those crabs. They experience reduced physical and mental performance. And Tori's no exception. Nice. But what's interesting is that unlike Carrie, he did pretty well at the physical challenges. How many minutes of longitude are between Point Reyes Lighthouse and Angel Island?
Point Reyes Lighthouse. How many points of what?
But really struggled with the brain power tests. How many minutes of longitude are between Point Reyes Lighthouse and Angel Island? He not only found it hard to understand the navigation questions, but he also took a while to answer.
Let's see, I would say 10, 20, 30?
No, it's 35.
And while Tori's steady as he goes with the final physical test,
All right, -1. That's great, man. Go, go, go.
it's clear that sleep deprivation has hit him hard.
Done.
9:30.
Oh man, that was tough. What's my score?
34.
I had a bit of a meltdown in the cabin bridge thing. Man, those extra hours really took their toll.
Yep, while Tori's strengths and weaknesses were surprisingly different from Carrie's, his snail-pace speed meant his score was all at sea. But will a paltry power nap really let them both bounce back on the double?
All right, you guys get some rest.
We're done.
You're done.
Yes!
So heading for a nap.
Buckle up, because it's MythBusters meets Deadliest Catch,
Killer Loop de los Muertos.
where Adam and Janie have a myth that's grabbed them by the boot.
Oh, little Buster, ow!
The small-scale tests are making it look pretty good for this story.
Yeah, but a heads up, we rarely ever use the old under-over coil on a crab boat.
Yeah, I figured that, which means that when we go full scale, we'll start with the regular coil, and then only if that doesn't work will we go to the over-under.
So what's the plan? Well, I figure we need a boat, a crab pot, a neutrally buoyant buster, and enough monitoring equipment to make sure that if he does go over the edge, does he also go all the way to the bottom of the ocean?
You make it sound so simple.
It won't be.
To the captains, it may sound easy,
I don't know about this. Ain't no crab in the bay.
but the only thing calm about this caper is the weather.
Well, our small-scale tests were very instructive, but I think it's time to stop playing with toys, and that's why we've come here, because here's where the really big toys are. We got a barge, we've got our pick of tugboats, we've got full-size crab pots, and it's now time to see if the killer loop works in full scale.
Well, hold your steel horses, Adam, because before that, the guys get loaded. First with Buster,
Little does he know.
then a pair of crab pots,
The primary thing I think when I see those crab pots is I get hungry.
and finally, a crab pot launcher.
Bingo! That worked perfectly.
Yeah.
Next comes the gratuitous painting montage,
Isn't that nice and cheery now? That's an experimental space.
which leaves just one thing,
Boy, mateys, permission to come aboard, Captain.
a pair of catch captains ready to see if this myth will make waves.
That's where we're headed, Johnny. We're going to Alcatraz.
I knew it. I knew this was a trick.
They're set us up.
So we're headed out into the middle of San Francisco Bay, and we're going to find a spot that has similar depth to what a crab fisherman would normally set his pots in Alaska.
That depth is around 200 feet.
You don't get a view like this on my boat.
And when they find it, it's time to go fishing.
So we're gonna strap it up and we're gonna hook it to this big crane. We're gonna put it in the launcher and get it ready to set. There we go.
Like in the Bering Sea, it's suddenly all hands on deck.
Let's get back. Keep your fingers out of the way.
Well, nearly all hands. Luckily, Adam's seasickness sleepiness soon wears off. So here's how this myth is going down.
This is how this is going to work. This table here is called the crab pot launcher. Now the crane's going to hook onto this line and lift the end of the table, making the crab pot slide off into the water, all 800 pounds of it.
And when that 800 pounds of crab pot hits the water, it starts sinking towards the bottom really fast, pulling all of this line with it, and maybe in this arrangement, Buster. This is where we find out if this loop of rope is in fact a killer loop of rope.
Indeed, and thanks to a special depth gauge,
he's ready.
Mapping Buster's sea trek will be simple, and Adam, for one, is confident.
It's time for a prediction, and I have to say, based on what I've seen in the small-scale tests, I think it's pretty clear. Buster's going down, all the way down, to Davy Jones' locker, if it is indeed down there.
Okay, we're good to go.
Here we go. Deadliest catch, killer loop of death, full-size test. 3, 2, 1, go!
With the barge cruising at 5 knots, the crane lifts the launcher.
There he goes.
And eventually...
Oh, oh, oh. Uh-oh. Oh! Uh-oh. Ow, ow, ow.
Not much happens.
Well, that's kind of anticlimactic.
That is a little anticlimactic, but that looks like it hurts.
The thing about ropes uncoiling and grabbing your leg is that it's a chaotic situation where pretty much anything could happen. And in this case, Buster became a human chalk and stopped the rope at the edge of the boat. Now, if that had been me, I would have been screaming bloody murder, but one way or another, I would have stayed on the boat. And that's a result.
It is a painful result, but the guys aren't giving up yet.
Come to the rescue, Buster. We got you covered.
With Buster delicately disentangled, the pot's hauled back up for test 2.
Everybody stand back.
Where this time our crash test crabber is going to have a bird's eye view.
This is a pretty typical scenario. Buster just threw his first shot overboard. He reaches around and grabs the next shot. Oops, stepped in the line. Killer bite.
He sure is closer to the action, but will he be man overboard?
Deadliest catch, killer cable loop, test number 2. 3, 2, 1, go ahead, lift it.
Once again, the crane lifts the crab pot. But as it does so, Buster takes a tumble.
Oh.
And falls out of the loop.
Ooh, that doesn't look good.
He's got a nasty rope burn. Ho, ho, ho. Ah! And there it goes. Well, that experiment didn't go very well for us. It went better for Buster than we had planned because he didn't go over the side. Got a nasty rope burn. A couple of buoys might have given him a concussion, but the problem was he fell over. That's not what we wanted to see. That's not accurate. So we're gonna reset, regroup, and try again. Buster's asked us not to, but he doesn't have a say in the matter.
In the Deadliest Catch special, the MythBusters are making waves. Because Carrie and Tori have just had a sleep deprivation disaster.
Score was 34.
So what's next?
Good news. We're gonna stay up for over 30 hours again. But this time, we're gonna take naps every 6 hours for 20 minutes. And then we're gonna run the course again and see if that doubles our performance.
That's the theory.
Nap number 1.
But with their first nap falling just after lunch,
Mattresses aren't very comfortable.
neither Carrie nor Tori is tired enough to sleep at all.
20 minutes is up already?
After another 6 hours of killing time,
99 bottles of beer on the wall, 99 bottles of beer.
Take one around, pass it around. 98 bottles of beer on the wall.
Okay, enough of that.
They hit the hay once more, but experience the same problem.
7 p.m. I'm not remotely tired, but I know it's time to take a nap. But it is for science.
In fact, it's not until they've kept each other awake for 18 hours
I don't like this game anymore.
that the guys finally do drop off, albeit not for long.
Stop! Stop! Is that 20 minutes?
And so the pattern repeats as the guys do anything to stay awake
Mayday! Mayday! Ship's going down!
Every man for himself! Get out of the way!
before crashing in their cabins.
It's been 20 minutes already.
It's fair to say that this feels less like testing and more like torture.
I think this myth is stupid. It's doing nothing for me. I feel just as terrible as I did with no sleep, except for I'm more angry because I keep getting little bits of like pretend sleep. It's awful. I'm ready to kill somebody.
Luckily, it's not long before dawn arrives, along with reinforcements
Let the games begin.
who are adamant that this power nap practice works.
All right, you've been in conditions where you haven't had a whole lot of sleep and you had to keep working. What do you think about this myth?
It helps me a lot to get a 20-minute, a 30-minute nap every 4, 5, 6 hours. So I think it's going to be confirmed.
Is there such a thing as getting too much sleep in one interval?
Absolutely. You got to find that happy medium where you get enough sleep but not too much.
And that happy medium is apparently 20 minutes, which have just elapsed for the last time.
Wakey, wakey!
I'm dreaming on Deadliest catch, but I can't wake up.
Been up for over 30 hours now and taken about 5 crab naps. I think the difference is before, at this point, with no sleep, I felt delirious, almost happy and jovial because I was losing my mind. At this point, I'm really cranky. I might have maybe a little more alertness, but I'm so angry.
Well, in that case, let's get on with the testing.
All right, this is it for the sleep deprivation myth, the moment of truth. Now, for this myth to be confirmed, Carrie and Tori have to double their scores over no sleep at all, which means Carrie has to get a 54 and Tori has to get a 68. Now, seeing their condition this morning, I think that's going to be pretty tough. All right, Carrie, you're up first. You ready to go?
Yes.
I need another nap.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go!
First up is hook 'em and cook 'em,
Miss.
where for Carrie, it's a case of third time lucky.
She got it.
The throw and the retrieval was textbook.
Nice job.
She remains sorted in size matters.
She's doing good.
But this time, she also scores well with King of Swing, meaning physically, she's doing better.
Ooh, that's pretty
realistic.
That was pretty real. I like this test.
But how about mentally?
All right.
Find the Farallon Islands. What is the latitude and the longitude?
So that's 3742 north, 123 2 west.
Correct.
This time, Carrie's not just accurate,
Correct.
she's also fast.
You'd have to go southeast.
Correct again.
That just leaves Shockwave, where again, Carrie does improve.
Okay, go.
And with a time way faster than the penalty point benchmark,
Time.
Nice job.
it's fair to say she nailed it.
How you feel?
Like really angry. And every time I make a mistake, I want to swear a lot. And I get you right now. I feel that.
Incredibly, Carrie improved in every single metric. And with no time penalty to boot, her score was more than double that of the no-sleep test. Which is great news for the myth. With the course reset, can Tori follow suit?
All right, you ready to go?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, go.
Remember, with no sleep,
Nice. Yeah.
Good job.
Good job.
Excellent.
Tori did pretty well at all tasks.
Almost.
But what let him down was his pedestrian pace.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, he broke the bar.
Something that's not afflicting him this time around.
From Cal Maritime to Point Reyes, what 2 directions do you have to go?
And although he still struggles with navigation,
From Cal to here, to Point Reyes. No, what the hell?
he's far from flunking.
Southwest to northwest.
Correct.
In the final skill challenge, Tori equals his no-sleep score.
Yes.
And when he eclipses his last time trial, this myth is making waves.
417. We got a 417.
How did we do?
So the numbers are in. And Carrie, you needed a 54. You got a 64.
Yeah. Good job.
Then there's Tori. You needed a 68. You got an 81.
Yeah.
So you know what that means. The myth is confirmed.
A little sleep is better than no sleep at all.
Confirmed.
Like Carrie before him, Tori trounced his previous test, where his newfound focus allowed him to accrue more points while avoiding any time penalties. Which means this crab pot caper is confirmed.
Turns out naps help. Now, it's not so much that you actually fall asleep, but what it did do is it allowed my body and my mind to rest, which helped. I mean, it kind of reset everything. I was much quicker, I was more agile, and it was easier to figure out problems. And the results are, it doubled our performance. This myth is confirmed. Best part is, this experiment's over.
No more sleep deprivation myths.
So far, the killer loop's looking dire, but not deep.
Ow, ow, ow.
Yet all is not lost.
Well, we're set up and ready to go again. Hopefully, third time lucky, third time's a charm. We'll test those myths for no extra cost. We're about to go with the same parameters as last time. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Deadliest catch, killer loop of death, the crab pot experiment. Let's roll it out. Go!
The crane lifts the pot and Adam's hopes.
Here goes. Buster's going down.
But will it be third time's the charm?
There we go. Oh, that's gonna go.
Whoa, look at this, taking his leg off. No, no, wait, ah!
I'll stop.
Despite causing severe leg trauma, Buster is once again staying on deck.
Son of a just tough. Nope.
Buster may look stupid, but he's actually quite the cunning devil. He keeps grabbing a hold of the boat one way or another, and we can't get him to get in the water. What are you gonna do?
The good news is that on every test, Buster is being caught by the coil. The bad news is that he's never going overboard. At least not yet.
Buster is pretty tough. We've already seen him endure abuse from these ropes that would tear a normal human's limbs clean off. And yet he still hasn't gone up and over the side. We still believe this is feasible based on our small-scale tests, so we've set him in a different position, looking over the railing as the crab pot goes in. Here we go. Deadliest catch, killer loop of death, crab pot goes in the water, and hopefully Buster too. 3, 2, 1, go! Come on, Buster. Come on!
Despite the encouragement,
You can do it.
there's a hitch.
You can do, uh-oh.
And it's not the clove hitch they're looking for.
We're 100%. We're totally 100%.
How'd that happen? One thing we have shown is that it doesn't take much for that rope to get a good bite on somebody's leg. It's happened almost every single time we've run this test. Apparently going overboard, though, is a little bit more difficult, so we're gonna give it another go.
With the sun setting, there's time for one final fling.
All right, here we go. Killer loop of death, up and over the side. Buster going to Davy Jones' locker in 3, 2, 1, go!
The pot's set to plunge. Will Buster finally follow suit?
Oh,
At last, he's up and over,
Okay, top of the buoys.
closely followed by the rest of the crab pot paraphernalia.
Buster went over!
Yeah! Yeah!
You guys are exulting at what would be the worst day you've
Worst
ever
day
had.
of our lives.
But despite the celebration, getting grabbed is only half the story. What's more important is seeing if Buster went all the way down. And to find out just that, once they're alongside, the team must haul him back from the brink.
There he is.
You know, with him attached to the rope there, I don't need to see his depth gauge. I know that he went all the way down.
No, the cage is just under the water. We know that rope bit onto him and it never let go.
It's a nasty way to go.
Ow.
Here's how this went down. Buster standing at the ledge of the fishing boat with his foot accidentally in a loop of rope. The crab pot going into the drink and taking its line with it. Its line accidentally wrapping around Buster's left leg, where he pinned against the railing for just a second until he was sucked through what must have been the tiniest of openings at an incredible speed all the way to the bottom. In fact, Buster went 100 feet under the water, and when we pulled the crab cage out, he was still attached to the line. Doesn't get much neater than that.
Indeed, with the knot holding fast, the 800-pound crab pot sunk like a stone, taking Buster to the seabed. So while the killer loop may not always haul you overboard, if it does, you're going all the way to rock bottom.
Well, gentlemen, we can't tell you enough how much we appreciated your presence here today. You are honorary Mythbusters.
It was a nasty job.
It was well done.
Watch where you put your feet on your boats, all right?
Let's get out of here.
In the Deadliest Catch special, it's time for the one that nearly got away.
All right, so it looks like this myth is confirmed. You can double your performance if you take 20-minute power naps every 6 hours.
Confirmed.
All right, so is that it? Are you headed back north?
No, remember a little Twitter banter we had going on a couple months ago about
Blowing up a crab pot?
That's right. We told them that if they brought a crab pot down, we would blow it up for them because they didn't think we could do it.
We just happen to have a crab pot out in the back of a truck in the parking lot. Come prepared.
So you want to test the myth that a crab pot is indestructible?
Absolutely.
Well, we could sit here and talk about it, or we could go out to the bomb range and do it.
Let's go out the bomb range and do it.
So once upon a time in the West, it's the Mythbusters versus the Captains. In the Twitter tall tale of the explosive-proof crab pot.
Ew, it's disgusting.
So this is one of the actual crab pots from Jonathan's boat, and this thing is a brute. It measures 7 by 7 by 3 feet tall and weighs 800 pounds. I gotta say, seeing this thing up close and personal, it's damn tough.
Damn tough it is, but surely explosions can destroy anything, right?
Now, there's no denying that a Deadliest Catch crab pot goes through a lot. But given that we've used explosives to destroy a cement truck, front loader, and a whole array of houses, you'd think that we'd have this one sewn up, but maybe not.
Why not, you ask? Well, because those explosions, we used a ridiculous amount of explosives. But out here at the bomb range, we're only allowed to use 3 pounds of C4. Now that's good for the crab pot because it's gonna give it a fighting chance. But let's face it, we wanna win this bet fair and square. As long as we win. You're not gonna know what hit him.
But will a 3-pound payload of C4 spell disaster?
I like to call this the crab's revenge.
Well, Jonathan thinks not.
I don't know if this is scientific or not, but there's 2 reasons why I'm going to win this bet. Number 1, we beat the heck out of these pots all year long, and we never lost one yet. Number 2, it's 90% air. There's nothing that will restrict the blast. Basically, they're going to be buying me crab dinner tonight.
With fire in the hole.
All right, that looks good.
And dinner on the line as well as pride, best to clarify the rules.
Now, before we get down to business, there's just one more thing we need to clarify, and that is our definition of indestructible.
Look, we know the webbing's going to be blown out of the pot, but the steel will stay intact. There will be no damage done to the steel.
Okay, I'll give you the web, but if one weld breaks, if one arm is severed, myth busted, and you are buying dinner.
Oh, you're dreaming.
The fighting talk's ready to rumble. So let's make room for the boom.
Fire in the hole! Always want to do that.
Oh yeah, this is 3 pounds of C4 on an indestructible crab pot. In 3, 2.
You see my hat?
Right there.
Oh.
1. That was awesome.
I think we still got a crab pot.
I think we got
You're gonna be buying some dinner.
All right.
Wait. Let's go take a closer look. We don't know. There could be a weld broken on that.
Yeah, but your hat's gone.
It's hats off to the crab pot as it survives the 3-pound percussion completely intact. No broken steel, no sheared welds, and even the webbing's still mostly in place. But Tori's not throwing in the towel just yet.
I'm a little disappointed. I'll be honest, I'm a lot disappointed. 3 pounds of C4 did not make the crab pot disappear. Now, we did make his hat disappear, but anyway, it's all about the crab pot.
Whatever.
We're gonna retry this because we may have leveled the playing field just a little too much. This time, we're gonna strategically place the C4 and see if we can do some damage to that crab pot. I ain't buying those guys dinner.
So for test 2,
Perfect.
Tori's splitting the payload into 3, and this time he secured it straight on the struts.
I see good things in our future, JD.
But will this give them the crab pot carnage they're after?
Okay, it's your turn.
Okay, test number 2, and I don't know why we're doing this. We already won the bet. 3, 2, 1.
Wait.
Holy smokes!
This time it's not immediately clear what's happened. And for once, the high speed doesn't help. So the guys go in for a closer look.
Leave it!
That is what I'm talking about.
Where it's good news for the MythBusters and bad news for the pot.
This crab pot flipped. We had the charges underneath. Look at how much damage was done to the corners.
I gotta tell you, I am impressed. I didn't think it could be done.
I can't believe the damage you did to this crab pot. Wow!
All right, Judge, who's buying dinner?
All right, well, by the definition that we set forth ahead of time, this crab pot is not indestructible.
Now we know with 100 pounds of ammo, we can make this crab pot disappear. But we had a limitation, only 3 pounds of C4 here at the bomb range, and we still were able to flip the cage and cause this much damage. Now, all the years we've come out to this bomb range, this is probably one of the toughest things we've ever faced. The best part is, the captains are thrilled, even if they do have to pay for dinner.
Luckily for you, gentlemen, I know some really expensive, delicious places.
And I'm hungry.
Next week on Deadliest Sketch.
Greenhorns from San Francisco.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.